So the strategies that we're going to go through are going to include some on-site things you can do, off-site strategies, and then lastly, taking data that can be captured to make better decisions from what people are actually doing on your shopping cart. So a few of the on-site strategies, we sort of lump this group of strategies into smart offers. But if you've gone to any e-commerce site recently, you've probably seen some version of a smart offer. An example would be whenever you first go to a site and they say, welcome to Nordstrom.com, enter your email to get XYZ offer. We would consider that an on-entrance offer. You've probably also seen more things on exit. So as you go to leave certain sites, it shows different promotions or things to customers. A couple other things that you can do for on-site promotions is going to include on close. So instead of just doing it whenever the person's mouse leaves the screen, you can also do it whenever they go to close out a tab. And then last but not least is going to be some sort of dynamic bar that changes based off the user's engagement. So these segmentation ideas, we've seen conversion rates increase anywhere from 5 up to 25%. And there's several tools that you can use to accomplish any number of these. But the basic idea is instead of sort of treating all customers the same way and showing them all the same promotions, how do you segment out different customers based off what they're doing on the site? So to give you a quick live example for anyone who's not familiar with these, if we go here to this site, R1 Concepts, anyone who first comes to this site, they're going to be greeted with a pop-up, something like this, where you can get $10 off. So customers enter their email address. And then after they enter their email address, they're given this sort of top bar that follows them around the site as they shop. So in this example, they have a little countdown timer that's been proven to perform really well. So instead of just giving them a coupon code, the coupon expires after 30 minutes through the checkout process. So the combination of not only capturing their email, but also having some sort of timer, we've seen conversion increases up to 15 to 25%. Those are usually some of the more aggressive things that you can do around the promotions. Also, one thing to note about these is it's good to show different promotions based off of different cart values. So for example, if someone has a cart over $500, then maybe show them a coupon for $50 off. Or if they have a cart under $100, then show them a promotion for $10 off. So with these type of promotions, again, the key here is showing different offers to different groups of customers. Instead of just doing a huge promotion where you give everyone 10% off and you lose out on margin, the key is figuring out which segments of customers you want to show different offers to and then optimizing for that. Another thing that we've seen work really well on site is having a social login option. So over here on the left, we have a case study that Jan Rain did with Samsung. In that example, users were 34% more likely to open an email whenever they click sign in with Facebook. And the likelihood of them clicking a link went up by 63%. So the key with social login is getting customers to actually use it so that you can capture data. So the placement of those buttons, it usually works best on your account login page where customers go to actually create their account. Whenever they first come to the site, you can also show it as a pop-up that says, welcome to ABC Store, click sign in with Facebook to learn more about our mission or things like that. You also want to integrate it on your checkout page. So after someone creates a shopping cart and they're starting the checkout process, it makes it easier for them to become a customer and for you to capture their data. So some of the most popular sign-in options that are actually used are going to include Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google. Most people use Facebook because it gives the most data to marketers. Whenever someone clicks sign in with Facebook, it captures their first name, last name, email address, birthday, and any of the other information that you want to pull from Facebook or ask the customers for. LinkedIn and Google performs really well for B2B companies. And pretty much most people have like a Gmail account. So Google works pretty well just for capturing emails easily. So the real benefits to social login, you're going to have more customers who register accounts instead of just going through a standard guest checkout. But you're also going to be given more data. So instead of asking someone for their birthday and creating like a birthday email sequence, you can pull that data straight from Facebook and then configure it with your ESP on the back end. And we've also found that it helps lower shopping cart abandonment because some people just don't like filling out forms. So there's a group of people who really like social login, and then there's another group who would never use it because they don't want anyone to have access to their Facebook account. But the group who really likes social login appreciates the feature. So the third and final strategy around OnSite is going to include social rewards. So the best way to think about it is incentivizing customers to perform a social action. So this top one here is built specifically around cart abandonment. So if we go to this site here, Lost Golf Balls, most retailers have some sort of enter coupon code box. And what usually happens whenever a customer sees that box is they go to Google to search for a coupon code. They end up on an affiliate site like Retail Me Not or one of those guys to get a coupon code. And then you as the retailer ends up paying out an affiliate commission. Plus there's a chance that user might not come back to your store. So in an effort to snipe that, you can offer a coupon for anyone who shares out on Facebook or Twitter. So in this example, they share out, they go to Facebook. After they complete the share, they're given a coupon code that they can take directly to checkout.
Hey, Chad, I've got a couple of questions here if I can stop you. Okay, so going back, you don't have to go back a couple slides, but a couple of the things that you were showing with the coupons, you're talking about specific dollar amounts for the discounts. Is there a reason, do you see better conversion when you offer someone $10 off versus a percentage, like 10% or 20%?
Yeah, so from the tests that we've done, whether it's $10 or 10%, most customers see that as the same promotion. So for you as the retailer, it's better to give $10 instead of 10% because it doesn't scale linearly. You end up getting a little better margin on anyone who uses those coupon codes. So in general, we usually recommend tiered fixed amounts like $10 for orders over $100 or $20 for orders over $200 because people are going to interpret that as 10% and 20% anyways. And then you end up giving up less incremental dollars there.
Okay, great. And then another question related to the social login. Do you have any demographic information or sense of which customer groups might be better for that? You said that some customers prefer that and it allows you to get more information. Does it perform better for women? Does it perform better for different age groups?
Yeah, it's more about age group than it is male or female. So I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but the last time we looked, I believe it was around 28 or 29, so late 20s up into the mid 40s. Those are going to be the ones most likely to use Facebook. Google actually skews a little higher for their Google Plus stuff. So if you have an older demographic, then you'll probably see more engagement on Google Plus.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, so the social rewards, we took a look at that share for coupon option, which helps keep people on the site. Instead of just giving them a coupon code, you're asking them to share out. So you get the incremental traffic. They get a coupon that they can take directly to checkout. Another thing that we've seen work really well is having some sort of share for giveaway. So a lot of retailers have map pricing or IMAP pricing and things like that, so you can't really do a discount. But what you can do is say, share us out or enter your email to get XYZ offer or for a chance to win a certain promotion. And one of the more popular ones that we've seen recently is doing like a pin it to win it contest. And we'll go a little bit more into that here in a little bit. Another thing you can offer here is instead of showing a coupon right after the customer shares, you can have it tied to one customer sending another customer who completes a purchase. So if you've ever used Groupon or anything like that, they sort of popularized the Refer a Friend programs, but integrating Refer a Friend, whenever one customer shares with another, whenever that person gets to the cart, they're going to be more likely to complete their purchase because they feel like their friend, through that referral, already said that it was okay. So a few off-site strategies. Once you have some of these on-site things in place, email is still the number one driver of any kind of e-commerce revenue. Even it's above pay-per-click if you have a more established brand. But with email, the key here is once you've captured their email, whether they first came to the site or whether they're trying to lose the site and you capture that email, creating a sequence that goes out to that customer if they don't complete their purchase. So what we usually recommend for people is if you're not capturing around 5% of all of the customers' emails that come to your site, so for example, if 100 people come to your site and you're not getting at least 5 emails, then there's probably some improvements you can make there. And then once you have their actual email, here's an example cadence that you can set up. So after you've captured their email, you know they have a cart. How do we get that person converted into a customer? So as soon as possible, usually within the first 10 minutes of them adding the cart, if they haven't completed their purchase, just shoot them an email and let them know that you're saving their cart. Within 24 hours, it's good to send something a little more urgent, like your cart's going to expire in 48 hours or something along those lines. And then usually by that third email, you might want to get a little more aggressive and offer a coupon code or something along those lines. So retargeting is also another popular way to get customers who've added to cart or visited your website and get them to come back to the store to complete their purchase, because a lot of people, they might be looking at something, they're interested, but their kid starts crying, so they have to leave. So this is a good way to keep them engaged with the brand. What we usually recommend for retargeting, most people, whenever they do retargeting, they put a pixel in their footer and they show one group of ads to everyone who comes to the site and leaves. What we usually suggest is segmenting your customers out and showing different ads or different promotions based off what they did when they were on the website. So here's a few examples that we have over here. For example, if a customer has a cart over $100, drop one cookie and show this group of ads. If a customer opened up that second cart abandonment email, drop a separate pixel inside of that and show a different set of promotions. You can also do things like if a customer views 4 page views, show this ad instead of the customer who just came to the home page. And again, if there's any questions, feel free to ask those over on the right. We'll run through this. Another popular thing that we've seen is using social networks as sort of a primer to get people engaged with the brand or confident in the brand before they actually get to your website. So everybody sort of knows that social is higher up the funnel. It's a good way to talk to your customer base, but it's kind of hard to put a revenue number behind social. So whenever you're thinking about it, view it as the conversion rate of people who are coming from these social networks. Once they actually get to the website, how do you get that conversion rate up per network? So a few things that we've seen work here. Anytime you have a new product or something that you're adding to the website, you can use a tool like Hootsuite or Buffer or any number of tools to promote that new product. Those perform pretty well because people want to stay updated with what's new on different brands and things like that. Also, be sure not to neglect some of these more niche networks like Wanilo, Polyvore, Wish.com. All of those networks are growing pretty rapidly. As we said earlier, our analytics are on a little over 10,000 websites, so we see a lot of data, and it is driving revenue for people. One combination of tools that we recommend for people is Buffer and Feedly. So with Feedly, it's sort of like an RSS reader. You can set up different topics that you want to follow. For example, if you sell coffee mugs, you could put coffee mugs as a keyword, and then anytime someone writes an article about coffee mugs, that's going to show up in your Feedly account. So once a week for 5 minutes, you can go through, browse a range of topics that you think your customers might enjoy, and then using Buffer, you can schedule those out for the entire week. So these type of social engagements, it doesn't need to be something where you log in every day. You're on your Facebook page. It can be 5 minutes once a week and just schedule a bunch of things to go out. Giveaways are also really popular, whether it's a hashtag giveaway, asking someone to write a comment about a product, or sharing a product out to keep people engaged and build brand awareness. Whenever you're working with any of these social networks, the key is to find influencers within your category, someone who already has distribution with people that you want to be your customers, and then try to find a way to work with them, whether it's getting them to promote the giveaway, getting them to host a giveaway on their blog, or just getting exposure to their followers. And one sort of hack tip that we have, it's called Pinterest laddering. It's a way to increase your distribution through pinning. So let me hop out of here. If we go over to Pinterest, the way Pinterest is set up, everything is essentially a board. So in this example, we're looking at Nordstrom. They have holiday entertaining, and they have a great gifts board. So if we take a look at these two boards, holiday entertaining, they have 222,000 followers. Great gifts, they have 224,000 followers. So odds are the people who are following great gifts aren't the same people who are following the holiday entertaining. So what Pinterest laddering is taking a product after you have your board set up, and you pin that product to a different board each day or each few hours so that you gain distribution from each board and each group of followers that came from that. And also with any of these boards, if you notice these little icons up here with the 3 little people on it, that means that there's multiple contributors to it. Whenever you're setting up your boards and you identify the influencers that you want to work with, it's also great to have them contribute to any boards that you have, because it's going to help increase the distribution and the activity of the board. So last up is using data to find new approaches or new ways to get more carts converted. So the key with data, a lot of people collect a ton of data and they sort of have it there and never really look at it because it's overwhelming and you don't really know what to do with it. So we always recommend starting with the question. A couple questions you might want to start with are, how many people are adding to cart versus checking out? Or what cart values have the highest abandonment rate? Or are there certain brands that people are adding to cart but not ordering? Different things like, would offering more or less shipping options help out? Once you sort of have these questions, then you know what your goal is whenever you're looking at the data. So there's several tools you can use to measure engagement and conversion rates. There's Yahoo and Google Analytics, which are going to show you more broad level, everyone who came to the site by channel, who's adding to cart, who's leaving, where are they coming from. It's important to have those things in place. So even if you can't tackle a project now where you're looking at this stuff, the more data that you have whenever you actually do get a chance to look at it, the better decisions you're going to be able to make. On the cart abandonment side and identifying how many emails you've been able to capture, typically you can do that straight through your ESP, whether that's seeing how many carts you're capturing per 100 people who come to the site, or how many of those people are adding to email that we've been able to identify. Once you, yeah, sure.
Hey, Chad. Oh, sorry, one of the questions we're getting, how can you see cart abandonment in Google Analytics?
Yeah, I think, so I probably should have put a link in here, but if you look under goals, they have a thing set up called funnel visualization. And from there, you can define the funnel of your checkout process. So someone adds to cart, they proceed to check out, they add their shipping address, they add their billing address. Once you have those goals set up, then you can set up a visualization funnel, and it'll show you how many people are getting to each stage of the checkout process.
Perfect.
Yeah, so another thing that you're going to want to measure is just sort of social engagement. The people who are coming to the site, even if they're not placing an order or they're not giving you their email address, are they sharing you out with their friends? How do you get them one way or another engaged? If they're not placing an order, how do you get some value out of their page views? And then the last thing here is putting an ROI on everything. We believe that if you can't measure, then you can't manage anything. And everything that you do as a retailer has to be data-driven, and you have to be able to tell what the ROI of it is. So there's a couple ways to think about ROI. We usually, there's two pretty popular models. There's the last click versus assisted revenue model. What that says is anyone who comes or whoever touched the customer last is going to get credit for the purchase. That's sort of the old way of looking at things. And usually if you're just looking at last click, it's going to look like SEO or email are the only two drivers of revenue for you. It's not going to give you the whole story. It's not going to show that order 15254, they originally came from a Facebook ad, and then they did a Google search for you to look up reviews, and then they entered their email, and then 2 weeks later, whenever you sent out that email promotion, they came back to complete the purchase. So one of the more, I guess, newer ways to look at it is multi-touch attribution. So if you say that anyone who comes from a Facebook ad, like this order, for example, they came through this path. So we're going to give 20% credit for this order to Facebook ads, 40% to organic search, and 40% to email. So traditionally, email would have gotten 100% credit for this. But if you take the order, let's just say the order was $100, and you say, okay, 20% of that revenue came from Facebook, 40% from organic, and 40% from email. It's usually a more accurate way to look at what's actually working for your marketing. So I think that's pretty much the ideas that I had.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Those are fantastic tips. I know that we're at the 30-minute mark, so thank you, everyone, for attending. If you have more questions, I think Chad's got a few more minutes. Please enter them into the chat box, and Chad can answer. So don't be shy. We're going to just take maybe another minute. And if you have questions, please enter those. Chad, while we're waiting for those, you had mentioned one thing on using the analytics to see where people are dropping off, and then also to measure your cart abandonment. Are there any things that people can do besides interrupting that abandonment to increase conversion? Have you seen specific things that work best? I mean, is it at this time of year? Is it free shipping? Is it beyond a promotion? Is it just changing the appearance of the checkout that works well?
Yeah, it kind of depends on what your limitations are. So there's, from what we found, there's two approaches. One group of marketers, they're able to do discounts. So it's a little easier for them to boost conversion rates by offering bigger discounts. And then there's another group where they're more focused around the brand, and they can't really discount the brand and things like that. So for those guys to increase the conversion rate, they can't just put up a discount to get things to work. But offering things like expedited shipping for a period of time works really well. Or the biggest thing is just scarcity. If you can say, okay, there's only 5 of these left, you have to order within the next 30 minutes based off the purchase velocity. And if you don't order within that period of time, this is probably going to be gone. So getting that sense of urgency, whether it's from a discount that's going to expire, inventory that's going to be gone soon, or something along those lines, usually performs best.
Okay, excellent. All right. Well, I think we've given fair warning, and we don't have any additional questions. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. We wish you guys the best of luck this holiday season. Hope you get all the sales you were hoping for. Chad, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate your partnership.
Yeah, great. I appreciate it, Dan. Thanks.
Okay. Have a great day, everybody.